How's it going? Hope everyone's doing well today. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. Good morning. Thanks again for joining us here for today's Business Development Focus webinar. My name is Rachel Hughes, and I am the Internal Marketing Coordinator here, which means I'm just here to help you, our users, get the most out of FollowUp CRM. And as usual, I'm joined by Rachel Goodrich, my bestie, and our product specialist. So as we're waiting for a few more folks to join, I would love to go ahead and open up the chat. Go ahead, put in there where you're tuning in from, and maybe just a little bit about what you do. So your industry, what you guys do. Would love to just see who's here today. Here at FollowUp CRM, we've got a unique vantage point. We've got construction contractors and companies of all shapes and sizes. So we'd like to know which of our industries are represented here today. So go ahead, let us know where you're tuning in from. Let's see. We've got Illinois commercial roofing. Good. Hello, Greenwood roof services. Awesome. Very good. Very good. Thank you, guys. Oh, good. Hi, Donnie. Donnie with Sunbelt Waterproofing from Texas. We've got Nebraska. HVAC. Good. Good.
Over. This is great.
Puerto Rico. Very good. Oh, King from Lancaster, PA.
What's up next door, Dan?
We're next door. Did you know I'm over here on Elizabeth Street in Millersville? So hello. We've got some Denver. Love it. Sarah from Zenith. Hi, Sarah. I was on the call with you yesterday. And Andrew from Illinois. Awesome. Awesome. So good. Hi, Terry from Cleveland. Thank you guys so much. We're so glad to have you guys here today. Yeah, we think this is hopefully going to be really helpful for you all. Yeah, just thank you for being here. Today, we're talking all about FollowUp CRM for business development. As we know, FollowUp is a great database for customer relationship management, for tracking bids and proposals, but you might not be using its capabilities for business development and lead generation. So what I want to do really quick, I want to start with a quick poll. Let me see if I can launch this thing. Ready? Can you guys see this poll?
I see it.
Okay, thank you. Great. Which do you think is correct? 80% of sales are made between the first and third follow-up, the fourth and eighth follow-up, or the 7th and 12th follow-up. 7th and 12th, first and third, or fourth and eighth. I'm going to click through here a little bit. Good. I'm going to give you guys just a few more seconds to respond. Awesome. Okay, here we go. Drum roll, please. 80% of sales are made between the 7th and 12th follow-up. So we're split 42% between 4th, 8th, and 7th and 12th. So most of you guys were right or very close, right? Between the 7th and 12th follow-up, that's a lot of work. That's a lot of business development, right? That's a lot of sales activities. But that's why we exist, right? We're here to help you do that, to close those sales. That's the whole point. That's our DNA. So today we want to show you 5 business development features in the system that you can start using today. These are available to you already, okay? And those are lead sources, the client profiles report, contact lists, contact activities, and company analytics. Okay, we've done some best practice research with some of our biggest, most successful clients to see how they do these things in the system. And we're excited to share that with you today. And we also love to make this feel a little bit like a roundtable. So thank you for participating. I'll be asking a couple more questions. And of course, if you have questions, always put them in the chat. We try to address them live, but if we're not able to, then we always try to follow up afterwards. So for this webinar, I did 3 mini case studies on 3 of our biggest, most successful clients who are doing a lot of business. Took a look around the systems of a big roofer, a big construction company, and a big HVAC company. So I'm going to be sharing some real data from some of those industries, but I'm sure that a lot of it can be applied to you, even if you're in waterproofing, like Donnie here. So let's start with lead sources. Okay, lead sources. In the chat, I would love to hear from you all. How do you know where your leads are coming from? Do you have them fill out an online form? Is it part of the calls that your receptionist intakes? Or do you require your sales team to notate the lead source in FollowUp CRM? So go ahead and put that in the chat when you get a chance. That would be great. While we are waiting on some of that, I took a look at some of our biggest clients, like I said here, and just pulled exactly what their lead sources are in their system. Now, these are custom to your company when you onboard with us, but they can always be updated if you have admin status, and Rachel's going to show us how to do that here in a little bit. But let's just take a look at this. In one of our big construction companies, these are their lead sources that they categorize their business coming in by: phone call, invitation by email, current client, Blue Book, bid clerk, grade beam, Construct Connect, Construct a Lead, CMD Insight, Construction Journal, supplier sales rep. All of these, to my knowledge, and I'm not the expert, you are like internet databases for project where people can post projects. And if these are interesting to you, we actually have links to them. You can reach out and be happy to share that with you. Some other ones: supplier sales rep, trade shows, referrals, Plan Hub. Okay, good. Let's take a look at HVAC. One of our HVAC clients set up like this: current client, referrals, trade shows, lunch and learns. Interesting. Radio, internet, signs, and general business development. And then the last one I want to show you is from Best Roofing. Current client, office lead generator, referral generated by account manager, marketing, website or search engine, hot sheet, referral from a residential roofer, consultant, manufacturer, print ad, road signs, GC, billboard, and trucks. So these are some of the lead sources that are working well here. Great. Let me just open up the chat a little bit.
We've got a lot of great stuff in the chat here.
Yeah, let's see. Here we go. Part of intake.
That looks like the funnest one.
What'd you say, Rach?
Golf looks like the funnest one. Daniel just put that in there.
Oh, I'm not seeing that yet. There we go.
Sounds like a great way to generate some leads.
Oh, good. Our intake process has our team include, calls, web forms, submissions, truck wraps. Okay, you're getting them from Construct Connect. Good. Construct Connect, Building Connected Pro, Procore. Very good. Very good. Construct Connect, referrals. Okay. This is great. This is great. Current client, phone call, trade show. So a lot of the same thing. Chris Walker says we're primarily doing our own targeted prospecting. That's great too. Ask the client. So it's golf. There we go. I see it now. Late to the joke over here. That's me. Yeah, lots of the same stuff. So that's great. Yeah, Dodge Plan Room. Okay, another one. Very good. Very good. If you are not already tracking this in the system, we highly encourage you to do that. And I'll tell you why right now. So Rachel, why don't you show, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Why don't you show us how to set these up? If you've gotten any new ideas, or if, for instance, as you're going along, you realize, hey, we're actually getting a lot of business from this. Let's start tracking this. Here's where you can add that custom field.
Yep. So if you are an administrator who's on the call or a champion, you have access to do this. If you are not and don't, then you'll just be able to be in touch with your champion or admin about this. But it's under company settings. And then you would come to your project data area right here. We usually set this up in onboarding, but we know things always change and you always need to update things. So under project data, you've got lead source. Some of you may call this something different, like industry or not necessarily industry, lead source or marketing source or whatever you call it, if we updated that or changed that during your onboarding process. But right under here, lead source, use the little plus sign. You can edit, delete. Many of you, as admins probably already know the scoop here, but this is where you find it under company settings, project data, lead source, and update the list right. There it is.
There it is. Thank you for your patience. Here we go. So I wanted to just dive into these a little bit. So high quality partners, this is probably a best practice that you're very familiar with, but sometimes we don't even do the things we're familiar with. If you work with a subcontractor, that you just think does great work. You love working with them. They do a lot of business. They do it well. Maybe it's an electrical company. Maybe it's a framer. Maybe it's HVAC. Maybe it's glass, whatever. Consider like forming a little network, sharing high quality leads with your high quality partners. That's a great way to bring in more business and do it together and do it with people you like working with. Another one is a recertification class. This is super interesting. Maybe you know this, maybe you don't, but a lot of property managers, in fact, all property managers are required to stay certified. And those mandates vary from state to state, but you could consider doing the research and figuring out how to set up a roofing 101 class if you're a roofer. So Best Roofing did this. I'm not sure if they're still doing it. They were teaching a roofing 101 class to a group of 10 to 20 property managers, all of whom had roofs that were going to wear out at some point, right? And then when that happens, when they have a leak or when they need a re-roof, who are they going to call? The authority that they're comfortable with, and that is you. So that's a great idea. And then the other one I wanted to mention is residential referrals. If you're a company that does both residential and commercial work, consider tracking those kinds of leads that pour into one another. So every company owner owns a house, right? Or 2 or 6. Best Roofing tracks this. So if you're considering whether residential work is even worth it for your company, don't forget that by doing good residential work, you're also generating commercial leads. So it's not quite as easy as just eliminating that, although that might be the right call, but it is also a lead generation source. And the best way to find out if that is even happening at your company is the lead recap report, which is my next feature that I want to show you. So in your follow-up system, I want to show you the lead recap report. Rachel, I'm going to stop sharing. And if you can just show us how to find that report, that would be great.
Yep. So if we're back here, we'll go to the reports tab and you've got it in your list of reports right here. So we would select lead recap report. We would choose the, let's say last 30 days, the time frame for the company. Get report. It's going to let you select if you want to isolate a certain lead that you'd like to see the report on, or you can select all and then go ahead and get the report that way. If you're familiar, obviously reports show up in your notification center and in your email.
Awesome.
And then you have a copy of it, right, Rach?
Yeah, I do. Wanted to show you guys because this is actually really, really interesting data. This is 1,000,000 pages long. Okay. When you
exactly take 1,000,000.
When you take the path that Rachel just showed you to get to this and you generate your report, this is what it's going to look like. For Best Roofing, there's a really obvious pattern here, and I want to show it to you. I'll just start on page 16. This report is going to, if you're not familiar with it, is going to generate the project name, the ID, the base bid, the sales status, the marketing, the account manager, and the contract date. And then at the top of every page is this blue bar that demonstrates where this lead came from. Now, a massive majority of all 1,000,000 of these pages is from current clients, okay? Which is really good news, really good news. Do we have anybody from Best Roofing here? Good job on you guys. That means a lot of things, and you guys are experts already, so you know this, but that means that there's great customer service and that they've done a good job narrowing in on their niche. Separate from lead sources, right? Separate from lead sources are client profiles, or some of you guys call these industry. When you get onboarded, you set these up in your system. And this is the location where the work takes place. So it's not the contract type. It's not the lead source. It's actually where the work takes place. And Rach, if you could just show us where they would customize these things. If they're noticing, hey, we're actually doing a lot of auto dealerships or whatever, where they would do that.
Right close to where you did the lead sources. If you come back to company settings and you're under project data, you'll come to client profile. So like Rachel said, some teams call it market segment, industry, whatever, because we always try to match the terminology in onboarding to what your team is used to. But it's showing the set of locations where the work is being done. So you can always add, adjust, alphabetize this list if you want to get fancy, but this is where it is under company settings, project data, client profile.
Awesome. So I'm not going to take the time to show you guys data, more data from the systems, because I want to keep things moving. But armed with this kind of data, there are two approaches. I want to show you guys where you can find the client profiles chart, actually. So let's see if I can. So that's where you customize your settings, but here's the client profile chart. And this can be found, Rachel, I think I'm not going to jump back and forth between screens, but this can be found in the reports tab. And this is where where you can find this kind of pie chart, right? If you go to the reports tab and go to graphs and charts, you'll find under there the client profile or the industry. And then you can generate this lovely pie chart that's going to tell you where most of your business is coming from. Now, what's really interesting about this particular screenshot, this is live from Best Roofing, is, as you can see, an overwhelming majority of their business is coming from condos and multifamily units. Okay, 72% of their business is coming from condos and multifamily units. Now, as I was starting to say, armed with this kind of data, there are two approaches, right? You could look at what's working and what's not working. And you could say, hey, let's improve in the areas that are low, right? But a better practice is to consider saying, let's actually let those low areas go. Those aren't our strike zone, and that's okay. Let's press in and invest in what's already working. Let's become the high-end provider in that area. And that's exactly what Best Roofing has done. And I'll show you how successful that has been. They've done a really good job of identifying their ideal client profile, right? Ideal client profile, or ICP. We all know what that is, but here's what the cycle we don't want to get in. Okay, the spaghetti strategy. You guys know I love doing this with my kids. When I'm making spaghetti to see if it's ready, I just throw it at the wall and see if it sticks, right? A lot of times there's so much going on in our businesses that we can just kind of treat things like that. Let's just see what happens. Just throw it up there and see what sticks. And maybe in the early days that has worked for you, but what that ends up doing for your team as you grow, something that we say here a lot of time, we're a software startup. As we grow, whatever exists is going to grow, right? Our problems are going to grow, and our wins are going to grow, and our work-ons are going to grow. So with this spaghetti strategy, you end up with high labor and low results. And then as that trickles into team morale, if you're managing a team of salespeople or estimators, that actually manifests in no incentive to follow up. And that manifests in lower closing ratios, okay? But armed with the pie charts and the data, the analytics that are already available to you in the system, you can turn that cycle around, right? By identifying your ICP. So for Best Roofing, that ICP was condos. And then you're increasing your closing ratio by narrowing your focus. And that makes it easier for your team to follow up because they're winning, right? That's the whole concept around winning more and bidding less. So I'm sure that this is stuff that you already know. Like I said, you're the experts in the industry, but hopefully we've been able to show you how to leverage follow-up and put your expertise to work with this tool. So that was lead sources. That was client profiles. If you have any questions, put them in the chat. The next business development feature that I want to highlight is contact lists. So contact lists, this is how you can segment your contacts for more targeted reach outs. And Rach, I am gonna have you share where that is.
Right here, yep.
Thank you.
So, okay, so many of you are probably familiar with how to create lists on the projects tab, but you are also able to do this on the contacts tab. So just the same way that you would do an advanced search and kind of isolate and sort a set of contacts that you'd like to have as kind of like your hit list, you're able to do the same thing here. So if we come to your advanced search and we wanted to, let's see, have a contact type of all of our owners or all of our property managers, so to speak. So then I would create save list, and I could say property managers, save that list. It creates a tile here. I'm in a small demo system, so it probably won't sort by anything, but that would pull up a list of all of our property managers only. The same thing you can do, we have some teams that also use this status here to be able to obviously identify where they're at with a certain lead, and then you can create lists per each of these statuses. So if they're sales qualified, marketing qualified, current customer, any of those things, you can also create lists here. As you know, on the projects tab, you can create as many lists as you need to across the board here. These are user specific. So these are really helpful to have a quick, just click in, sort by, everybody within that particular category, and then either export that or be able to start working down that list with follow-ups or whatever else needs to happen.
Awesome. So that's contact list. We're going to couple that with contact activities. You're probably familiar with those, but just like we have sales activities, we also have contact activities. These are all the things that the to-dos, the actions, the action steps to take to stay in contact with those people. So like we said, you're never going to win the deals that you're not following up with, but you're never going to follow up with the deals that you don't know about. So that's what contact activities are for. So we have contact lists, contact activities, a couple of good examples of contact activities that I've seen in our systems are things like coffee, Christmas card, phone call, lunch meeting, quarterly check-in and reach out. Maybe you have somebody dedicated to business development or marketing, and they want to put themselves on a cadence for all of these things or some of these things. Birthday card, a LinkedIn touch point. That's easy but effective, right? And a conference meetup. Those are all some ideas that I've pulled from some of our systems. The next thing I want to show you is, so we have contact lists, contact activities, and I'm not going to take the time to really dig into contact custom fields, but you can customize what information you're tracking per contact in your system. And if you have more questions about that, we can chat afterwards and get you set up there. But what's really cool is, and I'm going to grab the screen over here, is when you combine the power of all three of these things. You guys seeing this?
Yep.
Great. When you combine contact lists, contact activities, and custom fields, mind blown. This actually happened yesterday. You can do something like this. You can, if you're tracking something like, this is a good example, zip code or region where your contacts are, you can create that's a custom field. You can create a list, a contact list of all the people in, I don't know, New York. And then you can go to that list, you can bulk check all of these right here and send a bulk email that you can personalize with these tokens right here. You can say, hey, name, I'll be in the area for a conference next week. Do you have any availability for coffee? It'd be great to meet up and discuss some future partnership ideas. Here's a link to my calendar. And you can generate a lot of touch points just like that. So that was contact activities, lists, and custom fields. I know we're kind of flying here, but I want to make the most of your time. The next point that I want to show you is company analytics. This is a view of your won or lost history with any company. And I'm not going to have Rachel show the path because it's really easy. To find this chart, these pipelines, these pie graphs exist on every single company page. So if you go to your company tab at the top of your screen and you open up a company, on the left, when you scroll down, you're able to see what has been done, what's been won or lost with each specific company. And then the other thing I want to mention to you is the master activity report. If these analytics aren't quite enough detail and you really want to see, hey, I'm getting in touch with so-and-so from so-and-so company, I can't remember what we've done with them, you can find that information by going to your master activity report. This is a report of your history with a specific company. And when you download that report, it's going to look something like this. Okay, so this is actually a company, I think it was M&M property management that Best Roofing had done some business with. And this is just going to show you a quick rundown of all of the business that you've done within the given time frames. Now, as with all of our reports, just be mindful when you're setting your filters, because a lot of times, even I make these little mistakes all the time. I'm like, why isn't this working? A lot of times, just check your filters. Make sure you're looking at the right date range. Make sure you're not filtering by one specific user, but that you're looking at your whole company if that's what you're looking for. Make sure your office type is set to what you really want to see, and you'll be able to generate some of this information. So those are the features that we wanted to show you. So if you have any questions, put them in the Q&A or put them in the chat. We'd love to hear from you. And speaking of business development, there's something really exciting that we want to invite you guys to. You probably heard me talking about this. That's our follow-up conference. We are so excited to invite all of you, our users, down to Fort Lauderdale, February 22nd and 23rd. And we're hosting, okay? We're treating you guys to guest speakers. We're going to do some hands-on follow-up help with our product specialists. We're going to be wining and dining with delicious food and a poolside happy hour, okay? It's a chance to for you to get clear on your revenue goals, meet some awesome people, and set up your goals and your strategies, your tactics to achieve those revenue goals for 2024. Okay, we're going to be doing some deep dives into things like quotas and how to manage your team so that everybody's working to get to those goals for you with some experts in the industry. In addition to, of course, meeting some awesome people and enjoying the Florida sunshine right in the middle of the worst part of winter. So Rachel and I,
we're gonna love it.
We're really excited to get out of here, right there at the end of February. So, and it's all going to be at the incredible Hard Rock Hotel. So bonus points in the chat. Have any of you guys worked on the Hard Rock Hotel? I know that some of our clients have done some of the painting, I think. And I think we actually have some people who did some of the glass and some of the roofing for some of the projects. So I'd love to know if anybody's worked on it, or even if you've just been. If you've been, be great to see what
Haven't passed it. Like it's like right near the airport. So anytime we fly in there, you can pass it, and it's like that. Literally looks like that giant guitar. If you haven't seen it or don't have any context on that, so.
Yeah, you can see it when you're flying in. Donnie worked on it when he lived in Fort Lauderdale. Very good, very good. And Josh, I see that chat. I'm going to follow up with you after the call because that's a question that we've gotten a couple times. Very good. Well, hey, we would love to have you guys there. I think that this might even be a link. Am I wrong? Am I right? You never know. I'm right. It is a link. Excellent. Hey, so we're going to be sending this link for you to register in an email, and you should be hearing about this in your QBRs and other ways too. But all it is you come to this Eventbrite page and you just get your free tickets right here. Now, listen, you have to book your airfare and your lodging, but we did get a discount for you at the Hard Rock Hotel. So when you register for free, the conference is at no cost to you. We just want to get together and pour into our clients. When you register for free, you'll get some emails that include your discount code, and then you can book your lodging at the Hard Rock Hotel. So I hope to see all of you guys there, and we're going to soak up the sun. So yeah, any questions, please reach out afterwards. I'm going to be going back through the chat and making sure that I follow up with you guys. Hey, thank you so much for being here, for spending your time. And as always, we're just really appreciative of our clients. You're